Hello dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. This is Uncut Fishing, and on this morning I'm trying to fish this yet another stream. This time it's pretty large, at least for me. Oh, okay, I have to concentrate. And it's early August. The temperatures have been very high recently, and it has been pretty dry, so many small streams are non-existent, and many those that do flow are pretty warm. This stream is 18.5 degrees Celsius, that's like 66, maybe even more Fahrenheit, at 7 in the morning, so you can get the idea. Actually it's a pretty good temperature, 18 degrees, because other streams may be at 20 already, and during daytime the temperature gets up further, and obviously trout are sensitive to high temperatures just as people are. I would say above 21, that's like 70 Fahrenheit, it's already a bad, let's say, situation. So there was a fish in there. Couldn't hook it. The take was pretty decisive and immediate, so I will be fishing fast, hoping that at least for now, while it's still early morning, all fish will be acting this way. Like this, for example, I didn't let it sink to the bottom, but the idea was that, again, the fish would seek out the spinner. I don't know if that was a take. What is that? No. A bit rusty in the morning. What? Those are not serious casts. Oh, there is a fish in there, but a small one. It's a good thing it got off by itself, but it didn't rise. It didn't rise when I was retreating in there. Higher, it didn't take. Yeah. A bit rusty casting. Another pretty small one. So far they're saving me the trouble of unhooking them. Oh. So the first one we saw was the largest so far. Look at this. It's a small fish. Obviously to those uninitiated, this is a brown trout. My prime target here, primary target. There might be some really indistinctive stretches out there, so I might switch off from time to time to save battery. This is what we'll be looking at for some time. Let's try and understand, are there trout in these flattish, sandy, sort of deep runs? Obviously here I'm looking for the banks, but banks are pretty uninteresting. the current is evenly distributed, so it doesn't produce any undercuts or increases in depth next to one of the banks. Now it's becoming pretty deep. In any case, there may be some barely visible or invisible underwater features and some trout are in there, but this is not what we're looking for. I mean, a very strange beginning. Small one. The sweet spots here, these grass undercuts, at least from my point of view, but as I said, the current is not concentrated near the bank. Yeah, so this straight bit produced only one small fish. Usually in this stream, actually it's difficult to say. Sometimes in rivers like that, both deep flat runs like the ones that we passed by work well, and structures work well, but sometimes only one or the other works well, and it's really strange. Yeah, the depths variating. Oh. The fish followed from 10 meters further away. Took a jab maybe 4 times. As you can see, this one, maybe it's actually the same fish, but again not a large one by any means, not even a medium. Oh man. How did it manage to get the hook? So, as soon as we get something going on the bottom, some structures, some fluctuations in the depth, we get at least the small ones. Let's see if we can hook into a better one. No, this is not a better one, and this almost looks worrying already. Are you kidding me? So this is becoming a standard for the medium size today. A very pretty fish. Another take, but don't believe that was a large fish. Okay, strange structure, very deep underneath. Can't get over it, even with normal length waders. Don't know what to do. No. So in the middle of the stream, it is the shallowest. Oh, there was a larger one in there. Went downstream. Took a couple of takes, couldn't take it, and then went downstream. Again, not a truly solid one. This is a small one, followed another indistinctive push. This is actually a good spot, nothing comes out, and that's when you start getting the feeling of the instance when larger fish are actually not that active. They take good spots, and those good spots appear empty. Okay. This is a type of stretch where there is not much happening in terms of bands and natural depth variation, so you have to take advantage of these sort of structures. Oh, that's the largest so far, by far. By far. Got off. Couldn't hook it rather. It's still there. Try to take it again. I'm making these casts here because I want to give that fish a break. Sort of regain interest. A lot of trash in this structure, unfortunately. Oh man. It went underneath the log and couldn't control it, and the line, yes, the line is a problem. I lost it because of the line, not because it went underneath there. I could have probably tried and pull it out at least, but the line just snapped. Actually, looking at where it snapped, it may have snapped because of the friction. It may have caught something sharp on that log. Okay, I'll switch off and be right back when I change the lure. Okay, I changed my spinner. Obviously this fish is not taking again. Unfortunately, it has a spinner in its mouth. Let's hope it loses it. Usually fish manage, I think, to lose less. Let's hope the take wasn't deep. But yeah, next thing on my list is changing the line. I bought it this year for this season, but I get a feeling that fluorocarbon lines are not that good at staying in a good shape. There was a fish in there, by the way, and not a small one. I just saw the silhouette, but I'm 90% certain. I think it tried to take him. On the first attempt it didn't touch the spinner. I just saw it. Might have been a grayling. In any case, I will not be overstaying for one fish. As you can see, it's pretty shallow here. But there was a fish. Oh, pretty nice spot upcoming. had gone underneath that log, but the spinner touched the water and immediately changed the trajectory. So, several really good hiding spots and nothing's coming out. There is a small one. I don't even know if I want it to take. That undercut looks so tasty. Well, yeah, pretty small one, but already I can sense that the morning charm is waiting off. Fish and sort of becoming less active. It looked. Yeah, but it's a small one. This seems like a not such a deep run, but large fish like these things. Every fish likes these things, but as you can see, so I wanted to say activity has dropped, but we get a medium. Here it is. Yeah, this looks like a perfect spot. Painfully good. Small ones attacking. Yeah, so small ones are in there, but the activity has dropped, and first, yeah, so on each cast some jabs, but very cautious. I'm the type of fisherman who finds this better, although it's much shallower. Another medium. Got off. This, on the other hand, is I don't know, it's textbook embodiment of a good spot. Very significant depth increase, which collects all the current. The small fish are there, but no sign of a larger one. Oh, there is another one in there, maybe even slightly larger than the one that got off before. But this one, it took for the second time? Yes, a medium. Yeah, so this run is performing better than the other one. By the way, when water temperatures increase, the amount of oxygen decreases because it is higher in the lower temperatures. So maybe fish also like these types of spots because they have more oxygen, I don't know. I think there is maybe even one more, but let's check this one out. More thoroughly. Missing. Now the entrance appears to be empty as well. Not that this run is empty, but those are the sort of fish that are in there. Here it is. Yeah, so for now it sort of seems more like a kindergarten slash secondary school or something. There's one nice fish hooked so far. Unfortunately couldn't hold to it. Lost it along with the spinner. Imagine I hook into a trophy here or there. This wasn't a trophy. Another medium. Yeah, small fish. Greenish in color. Slightly underwhelming, that structure, I must say. I caught 4 or 5 fish, but no large ones. So with deep stretch coming. It would be better to be on the other bank, but it is too deep. So another very flat stretch, and again the current is not concentrating anywhere. Bottom is sand, and the small ones, they may be everywhere. Slightly better. High 20s, 11 to borderline 12 inches. Still, we're getting closer. The one we lost was maybe 36 centimeters. 14 inches and a half. I don't know if I will be able to wade through there. Yay. Yeah, a very long straight. Might have to fast forward here. That is even better than the one before. Slightly too deep, I don't have where to put my spinning. This is fine. Now that's the first more or less solid-ish looking fish. No. It had to start wiggling. The hook is removed. Here it is. Mid to high 30s. We have to let it go. It's too high in the weeds, in the grasses. Didn't go far. Okay, let's let it rest. But as you can see, the bit is what one would call boring, but the results are better. So those runs we passed were like an amusement park. Looks fantastic, but not too many adults. Although in some countries adults actually dominating amusement parks. I like amusement parks. But yeah, some old tree trunk under the water, and that's where it is sitting. A small fish. So we hit a stretch with grass on both banks. And the depth is pretty significant. Yeah, where there are weeds, it's slightly shallower. The bottom is littered with old branches, so wading fast is not an option. Small ones. Yeah, so that deeper bit where the river narrowed down and there were grasses on both banks, was for some reason empty. And these bits are very attractive actually, because the grass is overleaning the water and a lot of insects fall off it. But in any case, right now there are so many insects that I doubt that fish care a lot about where they fall from. Oh, there is a fish in there. It's a small one. But there may be still a better one in there. No. A lot of springs falling in there. Making the water slightly cooler, which is very important at this time of year. Oh! Took my eyes off the lure, didn't see the size of the fish. That wasn't large, probably. Back to smalls. Beaver lair entrance, or maybe not, it's difficult to say, but pretty good undercuts. Okay. The spinner sometimes catches a line in such a way that if you untangle it quickly, you get a knot on the line. Obviously it weakens the line. This was one of such cases. Again, as you can see on the bank, there is a tree sticking, and you immediately know that there will be a log, even if you can't see it. Very nice current, I must say. Small ones attacking. But sometimes you can be surprised by what you can get in spots like that. Not a large fish. Took it, lost it. This one into the chest. A medium-sized, small dash medium. Okay. Now the current is definitely concentrating to the right of me, and you can see I don't know if you can see, but the bottom there is dark, and to the left it is light. This is a good current. Oh, a good medium-sized fish. Grabbed it and lost it immediately. Try to take it again. I'm not sure if it's the same one. Losing its interest now. Okay, let's leave it alone. Another medium. Sized fish. I'm using the word medium, but obviously you know that this means a person who pretends that he or she can speak with spirits or something like that. I'm not referring to them. By the way, for small ones, I often use the word smallie, although in North America this is reserved for smallmouth bass, and there is no such word anyway. So if you are reading my closed captions, subtitles, oh, there was a better fish in there, you will not get this one translated. I'm trying to write subtitles for every video I upload. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes it takes a couple of videos still have no subtitles, but subtitles enable people to watch. Oh, come on, it followed up to there. Enables the people to watch independent of what language they know, because they can use Google Translate or have a YouTube translation, but it's the same. Obviously, translation into many languages isn't perfect, but at least it is available. And anyway, smallie is one of those words that will not be translated. Here it is. It is looking at the spinner when it's in in the air. And again try to take it. I try to lift it so that you can see the fish. I'm not sure if you could see it. It's not a large fish. If it was a larger fish I would probably try to think of something, but this is not worth it. It was a very deep wade, I must say. Very soft. Okay. Okay. Something's wrong with this spinner. Still. Could this be the first place where we get something in a more traditional run? Although this is actually a bend, and there is one old tree under the water. Was that a tick? If it was a fish, it wasn't probably large. I'm getting impatient. Oh yeah. Can't understand what's the size of it. But probably isn't large. It was a very good spot. Doesn't look like much, but trust me, it was a very good spot for a large fish. Much deeper than it first looked. Small one. By the way, I recently saw one video where the person experiments with music in the background while fishing and dramatic music. And I mean, this is nothing new. But music changes a lot. Like, for example, I could put on some dramatic cinematic stuff on right now, let's see. Let's try. Yep. So I should have put something dramatic here. In post-processing, in any case, music changes things so much, but I don't like adding it just to create the impression of quality. Like video trailer creators do. They can take pretty much anything and turn it into an amazing trailer. And a lot of the quality of the trailer is down to sound. And the same here, obviously. Okay, I'm ready for another decent fish, because there were too many small ones. As it was forecasted, the sun has hidden underneath the clouds, and it is a huge break. When it will be out, fishing will definitely be over. Temperature will rise by 10 degrees. Maybe not 10, but similar. Yeah, this is an amazing spot, and as you can see, not even a small one is coming out. It definitely does not mean there is no fish in there. Oh. Slight change of scenery. Always welcome. Small one. And they are not as decisive as they were in the beginning, it appears. Small dash medium got off. Another small one. There. Get out. This one also got off. Wanted to see. Didn't get off, but well. No. When I was making a step, there was a take, but as it's becoming the norm. Couldn't hook it. It wasn't a large fish. Take again, but very mild. Difficult to say what size it is. This time I managed to hook it. It's a solid medium. Camera shy. There are probably more in there, but the takes I had doesn't seem very serious. It's a very good spot. Looks flat and uninteresting, but the key here is the depth. It's also in the shadow. Something on the treble. This looks nice as well, but when you see all the other spots, it obviously loses most of its charm. Okay, so it's been quite a while since I hooked into a larger fish. It's typically what you get here, not a lot of large fish, but you never know when you may get that trophy. Another good spot without a sign of life. Actually on the bottom there's not much happening, and that larger log is floating, so I don't know if it's such a good spot after all. It is barely holding on. Small fish, a very small one. Another small fish. Another take. medium this time. Look at that. A small trout. And the spot is very good. Oh, are you kidding me? At least this one's slightly larger than the one before. This time very dark. And we are entering what appears to be a shallower, more right stretch, and let's try and close the deal here. The clouds will be gone sooner or later, and as I said, when the sun will go out, it will do a lot of damage. This is not a trophy. A pretty solid fish. Corner of the lip. Here it is. So, as you saw, it was sitting right next to that bank over there. So yeah, you have to stick into these pockets, and in many cases you will get nothing, but in some cases you will get rewards. So folks, it appears this is the time to wrap things up. I probably have jumped to this spot from my last solid fish. I try to get another one as usual, never content with what you already have, and it as usual failed, and now I have a dangle to brighten the things up. In any case, sun is also semi out. So folks, thanks for watching. This was Uncut Fishing. Hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.